Welcome to today's Explainer. We are jumping right into a truly fascinating concept today. We're looking at how our deeply held preconceptions, those things we are absolutely 100% certain we know, actually act as invisible barriers to our own happiness and growth. We're exploring a framework from Thomas Alethea's 12 Steps to a Good Life to see exactly how we can break free from these mental limitations.
Okay, let's dive into this. Is what you know holding you back? It's a bit of an unsettling question, isn't it? I mean, we spend our whole lives building up, actually it's more like hoarding, a library of knowledge and certainties. But what if that very certainty is the trap? What if your current worldview is literally a self-made mental box? Today, we are really going to challenge that comfort zone. Now, this brilliant quote actually comes from MMA fighter Melissa Croden, which just goes to show that profound wisdom pops up in the most unexpected places. She says no problem can be solved by the same consciousness that created it. Think about that. If you're stuck in a recurring problem, you cannot think your way out using the exact same mindset that got you stuck in the first place. True wisdom has to come from entirely outside your current rigid belief system. So to really grasp this, we need to define what we mean by the box. No, it's not a physical place. It's your set of unconscious thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes that you've accumulated from childhood, society, past experiences, the whole shebang. When you're stuck inside this mental box, it filters and heavily distorts your reality, meaning the only solutions you can possibly see are the ones already sitting right there in the box with you.
The source text gives us this wonderfully visceral metaphor for this distortion. Just imagine walking super confidently toward a glass door, absolutely believing it's open. What happens? Smack! You smash your nose, right? The text points out that pain is simply a mismatch between reality and our perception of it. We get hurt when we act as though one thing is true, but reality has a completely different plan.
Because of this mismatch, change is eventually forced upon us, usually in one of three ways. First, you crash into reality, like your stubborn expectations hitting that literal glass door. Second, reality crashes into you. This is through uncontrollable events, things like illness or sudden economic shifts. But the third scenario, that's where the magic happens. You partner with reality. Instead of these catastrophic, painful collisions, you participate in it, kind of like a surfer riding a wave. And this is by far the healthiest, most proactive way to live and grow.
Let's move to Section 1, the Gateway, redefining humility.
To actually move from crashing into reality to actively participating in it, we need a major paradigm shift. And the gateway to that shift is a concept we so often misunderstand: humility. Now, you might immediately think of weakness or, being a doormat, but the source text explicitly rejects that. It defines humility as spiritual modesty and a mindset of total clarity and openness. It is a really healthy hands-on journey that requires us to drop our mental defenses and just engage honestly.
What's really interesting about this is how ego and humility are absolute polar opposites when it comes to managing our mental energy. The ego claims to know everything. It spends massive, exhausting amounts of energy building and maintaining these mental brick walls just to protect its version of reality, which totally blocks any meaningful change. Humility, however, admits flaws. It breaks down those defensive walls. And once you stop wasting all that energy defending your ego, well, that energy suddenly becomes available for genuine transformation. The author suggests we can actively practice this by replacing earthly thoughts with high thoughts. When you find your mind trapped in worry, fear, and resentment, which, by the way, are all ego-driven and box-building, you can consciously pivot. You can choose humility, gratitude, awe, and openness instead. Every single time you replace a fearful thought with a grateful one, you're literally chipping away at the walls of your own box.
Section 2. The mechanical fix. The set-aside prayer. So how do we actually hit the mental reset button when our ego flares up? The text presents a highly practical, grounding tool designed to help us approach situations with genuine humility, and it's called the set-aside prayer. Now, before we look at the exact words, I want to note that this is accessible to absolutely everyone. If the word God carries baggage for you, no problem at all. Simply substitute it with higher power, the universe, or just anything greater than yourself. The real power here is in the psychological unblocking it creates, not in any specific religious dogma.
Preparing to use this mental reset is super straightforward. There are really no rigid rules here. First, just focus on your intention. You're asking for help to see clearly. Second, be spontaneous. Adapt the words to fit whatever is currently frustrating you in that moment. And third, speak sincerely from the heart. Sincerity and humility are the only true requirements here. If your ego is just going through the motions to check a box, it's not going to work.
Let's look at the prayer itself. It starts out like this: God, or higher power, today help me set aside everything I think I know about you, everything I think I know about myself. Just notice the radical nature of this request for a second. You are explicitly asking your higher power to clear the slate. You're acknowledging that your current, deeply held understanding of the universe and even your own identity might actually be flawed.
And it continues, everything I think I know about others, and everything I think I know about the world. So the crucial point here is how this systematically dismantles that box we talked about. Think about a conflict you're having right now with someone. You think you know exactly why they're acting that way, right? Well, this prayer explicitly asks you to set that certainty aside, clearing away all your prejudices about the external world and the people around you.
And here is the resolution, the ultimate goal of the whole exercise. So I may have an open mind and a new experience with all these things. Please help me see the truth. You aren't asking for a specific outcome. You're not asking for a promotion or to win an argument. You are simply allowing yourself to approach life with an open mind and a completely new, unfiltered experience of reality. You're basically asking to stop crashing into that glass door.
Let's summarize exactly why applying this matters so much in everyday life. When you use the set-aside prayer, you clear away those deeply held preconceptions that keep you so stuck. You replace ego-driven certainty with genuine, open curiosity. It pulls you right out of your self-made mental box, connects you with a broader, much more authentic reality, and creates that vital space for daily personal growth.
So, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. What might you discover today if you simply let go of your certainties? Seriously, the next time you feel stuck, angry, or just absolutely sure that you are right and the rest of the world is wrong, try the set-aside prayer. Experience the incredible freedom of stepping completely out of your mental box. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this brings a whole new level of clarity to your learning journey.